a humble man who grew up in a small village in Nigeria, would rise up from the ruins of a grand civil war and change America forever. Born into an aftermath of the Nigerian Civil War, where millions of his people were mercilessly slaughtered, Bennett Amalu's story begins. Isolated, Bennett grows up completely oblivious to the outside world until one day, when he escapes his boarding school and experiences the crime, poverty, and the corruption of his homeland. Having experienced what was happening in his country, Bennett plunges into depression. After the new president, who represented hope and was considered the savior of the Igbo people, is sent to jail by the corrupt military, Bennett realizes that his depression will make him commit suicide, and he has to get out of Nigeria. And where better to go than the near mythical land of opportunity, God bless America. After have worked a few years as a neurosurgeon, Bennett finds an ex-football player gone mad in the morgue. Working the case, he stumbles upon a disease never seen before in football players. Contrary to his belief, however, the NFL does not welcome his findings, and so begins the fight between one man and the corporation that owns a day of the week. Concussion is a book of amazing courage and willpower, standing up to what is right. Throughout the book, Bennett is not only fighting a battle against the NFL, but also against himself, suffering from depression. He discovers new and strange concepts that shock him, such as racism. All of a sudden, America does not seem so great anymore. Pushing through to victory, he is often tasked with making decisions that shape his life. Despite the oppression and being the underdog, he stands up and fights to protect the NFL players from one of the biggest companies in the US as they throw everything they've got at him. Personally, I would recommend this book to anyone who likes science, football, or just a good story. Even though there's a fair amount of science, the book is more about the courage and willpower and fighting for what's right. One does not have to know anything about neuroscience to find this book interesting. I found this book to be very inspiring and fascinating, even though I do not normally read biographies. I've tried to read other biographies, such as Steve Jobs, but I found them to be very stretched and boring at times. However, I was pulled into Concussion from the first pages I read. It is a terrific book about courage and an unbreakable spirit and the impact one man can have on the colossal place like America.